today is Thursday, October the 18th, and Tim and Finn have gone out for the day, which is amazing. I absolutely love spending time with the little man, but I don't think I've had time in the house alone since he's been born, so I'm not like watching how much noise I make because I'm afraid I'm waking him up. I'm not like constantly, it's really nice, and I actually I want them to come home so I can snuggle Finn again, but I am enjoying the time that I have right now. So I'm taking some product photos of some new things that Tim's been working on his paternity leave, and they're actually pretty cool. I will grab one and show you after I drink some of my coffee. Alright, so here they are. This is a much easier way to show them to you. We have a large, medium, and a small, and it's a notebook cover, and there's a notebook inside with a pen loop, but you can weave on it just like with a normal lap loom, and you can pop your weaving off in the end, or you can leave it on if you want to, and yeah, it comes in 3 different sizes. They got different needles, and they all come with combs. Oop. Sorry about that. Pickups. There we go. Pickup sticks, combs, shuttles, so you can get a better look, and needles. Unfortunately, they do not come with Teslas. Tesla! Oh, fluff. But they come with everything you need to get started except for the yarn. So we're gonna have these at Fiber in the Burrow, which is the first Saturday of November. So that's where they'll be first debuted, and then we will have them online that Monday. So keep an eye out, and I will also let you know on Instagram if anybody's interested. So that's what I'm working on today. Just lots of product photos, getting the instructions ready, and I'm gonna do some weaving and drink my delicious coffee. Vienna has their fall flavors out. I always have trouble saying that. They have their fall flavors out. So I've got pecan pie right now, cinnamon s'mores, and I'm thinking I'll pick up maple nut today. So we'll see. I'll be going there later to type things up once Tim gets home. And all of it's decaf, and I love that they make fun flavors of decaf, because at the grocery store all I can get is regular. So it's really nice being able to pick that up and for it to be local. So it's pretty good. So I think we've got turkeys in the yard. Tesla's getting very excited. But yeah, I guess I'll settle in, get that done, and enjoy my very relaxing morning, and hope you guys are having a great day too. So I just had a really nice lunch with Tim and Finn. Wound up taking about 2 hours, although I meant to get out of there faster. But now I'm on my way to Vienna for some nice coffee and maybe a snack while I work on the instructions. They've got a latte at the moment called the Gorgon from Stranger Things. All of their specials this month are Stranger Things themed. And it's like a really dark espresso latte with charcoal, I think. It's extremely black, and I'm tempted to either get that or the 11, which is a maple latte with waffle bits in it, so we'll see.
Stickies. Look at that.
Today is Saturday, the 20th of October, and Finn and I are hanging out on the couch. Mr. Man's got his little cube to play with, and I am working on a hat. It's the photographer hat on Ravelry. It's a worsted weight hat, but I'm using fingering held double. It's MistyMountMakers yarn. It's on our Elven base, which is a merino nylon 10 cell blend, and it's on our Tutti Frutti colorway. So here that is. This lighting is not the best, but it's a really light tonal pink with teal, purple, and like darker pink speckles all over it. So it's working up really nicely. And let's see if I can show you. So I'm trying to get this done before Fiber in the Burrow. So I've got about 13, got about 2 weeks. So we should have that done soon. And Mr. Man is working on his raspberries. Yeah, bub. Yeah, bub. Yeah. So today is Tuesday, the 23rd of October, and I wanted to take a second and actually show you guys some of the things that I've been working on. I've been trying to record things as I go, but turns out my knitting time happens around, it's anywhere between 4 and 7 in the morning, so there's not a lot of light, and I'm trying to get Finn to sleep, so, which actually we've started fixing, but I'll talk about that later. Not a lot of light, so those videos not as useful as I had hoped. But yeah, I'll show you a couple of things I've finished. I'm sure there's been more since I last recorded, but we're gonna go with the more recent stuff. And in fact, from about 7 or 8 months of being pregnant, I completely lost any desire to knit or attempt to sew or spin or anything like that. I didn't want to do anything creative. I just felt like a big walrus and wanted to, I don't know, waddle about somewhere. So yeah, it took about 2 months after Finn was born for me to actually get my mojo back. So one of the first things I made was a hat for him. And this is the Tin Can Knits pattern Snap. Will you make up your mind? Yeah. This is Snap by Tin Can Knits, and it's such a pretty hat pattern. I love the way that it turned out. And most of the yarns that I used in this were yarns from like samples that I dyed and things like that, so I had a couple of yards of each color, but given the way that you knit the hat, that wasn't a problem. The hat is so cute. The only problem is that it's a little too big for him, so when Finn wears it, if I'm not careful, it'll slide down and the brim will perfectly sit over his eyes, which he's not a big fan of. So he can't wear it at night or in the car seat, but if we're out and about, I'll put it on his head, and he looks so cute all bundled up in it. And The other FO that I have is also a hat for Finn, and this one is a cute little slouch. I put some pictures of this on Instagram, and in fact, when Tim gets home, we're going to go outside and do a little photo shoot with Finn. But it's the Brimmish hat by Imagine Landscapes, and I'll link to the pattern down below and to Snap. It'll all be down below. But this is the Brimmish hat, and it was a test knit, and it's a hat that comes with, I think, 6 different brim patterns, and you can do a beanie or a slouchy style, 1 or 2 colors, and it's a pretty cool pattern. I really like it. And I chose the hourglass brim, so you can see it's got all those little loops in it, or little circles moving their way up, and I really liked it. Probably be making one for myself. There's a broad spiral brim as well, and I think I'll be using that one for myself. But for the test knit, all the beanie sizes were taken up, so I had to make him a slouch, and it's so cute on him, the way that it kind of hangs in the back, and I'm going to put a big white pom-pom on it for him, so it looks like a little Christmas hat, but also one that he can't wear at night, or in the car seat. So he's getting another hat, but I would definitely recommend the pattern, Brimmish. I will post on Instagram when the pattern's finally out, or when the pattern is out. But for Finn's next hat, because he's getting yet another, I'm going to be doing the Snap hat. I'm just going to remove some of the stitches and not knit it as far, so it'll be just a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter, and hopefully we won't have those problems. But you're holding multiple strands of fingering weight together. So I've been collecting all the little bits that I think will work for his hat. So, geez. You're hearing knitting needles bouncing around inside my fancy little yarn bowl. Sorry about that. But I've got 2 skeins of Elven in different shades of green. I've got some Elven in a gray and yellow colorway. Elven in the green pill. And just some other assorted minis. And this is Regia 4-ply. And I really love this yarn, and I'm excited to work with it. So I'll be turning this into, I'll probably hold this one all the way through on his hat and kind of start with the darker colors and work my way to the lighter. So we'll see how that turns out. It's such a quick knit because you're using size 7 and size 10 needles. So I should have it done in just a few days. I just need to buckle down, cast it on, and he'll have his hat. We're actually having some cold mornings. I think it was in the 30s this morning. I think it's up to the 50s now. But, oh, it's been so nice. I've been able to get out all my winter clothes, get out my scarves and my hats and all my jackets. So it's been really nice. Hopefully we don't get like a sudden heat wave or something and it goes back up into the 80s. I'm hoping the cold is here to stay. But yeah, the other knits that I've been working on, I've got one more for Finn, and it is the Boogie pants pattern. On Ravelry, I'll have a link down below and maybe pop up a little picture or something to show you what they look like. So far on those, I've just finished the ribbing for the waistband, and this is in, I think it's Sprout DK. I got it at SAF last year, so I'm sure if I go back to my video after SAF last year, I'd know what it is. But I think it's from, I'm not sure. I'll put it down below so you guys can see it. But that's going to be the edging, all the ribbing at the waist and at the ankles, and then everything else will be this gorgeous yarn. It's Yowza by Miss Babs. And I think this is the Lost Treasure colorway. Again, bought it at SAF last year. I originally planned to make him a sweater out of this, but so far, I think the one sweater I'm making him will be enough for now. He's been pretty cozy in the clothes that he's got, so we'll see. But for now, pants. And those should be nice and toasty and keep him warm. He's so long that we haven't been able to, we can't put him in onesies anymore, because even the like 1-year-old and 9-month-old onesies that we have tend to crimp his diaper so that he has overflow issues, and they just don't fit at all when he's wearing a cloth diaper. And then everything we've been buying him now has just been 1-year-old shirts and 9-month-old shirts, and just because they fit well enough that they'll last a while. And we've been getting him the cutest little sweatpants from Target. But they're so adorable. So, off on a baby tangent, but he's so cute in sweatpants. Anyways, the rest of the knitting I've been doing has been for me. Poor Tim has been left out. I did cast on something for him, but I haven't really touched it. So I'll show you guys after Fiber in the Burrow. In November, I'll be able to show it to you once I have some time to work on it. This I have not been working on as much as I'd like. I kind of put it to the side so that I could work on getting ready for Fiber in the Burrow. But this, ooh, is massive. There we go. This is Goldfish Memories, and I believe it's by Casapinka. And you can see all of my colors. The green is unplanned. No, the green is Dragonfly Fibers in the Zombie Apocalypse colorway. And it's just this bright green with lots of dark green kind of blotched all over it. And I also got That Old Chestnut by Dragonfly Fibers, and it's a nice dark brown that has some blotching of a darker brown, but it's not quite as there aren't as oh my gosh, my brain. The colors don't vary as much as in Zombie Apocalypse. And then the last colorway is this one. This is We Can Pickle That by Knitted Wit. And here's how it's working up. That's actually the first yarn that I bought. I have been in love with it since Christy first got it at Hook and Needle. And I finally bought it. And then I wasn't sure what I wanted to make out of it, because I thought if I cast it on socks, 1, I'd never finish them, and 2, if I did, they'd be hidden in my shoes all the time. So I went around and just stocked the shelves until I found something that would work with it, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. I did start out originally, the brown was Knit Picks Hawthorne, I think, in the St. John's colorway, which is a nice enough colorway, but it has these light sections in it that you can kind of see across here, and I really didn't like it, so I switched it up to the That Old Chestnut, and I'm really happy with it. I kind of wish I had frogged everything and started over, but if I had, I wouldn't have cast it back on, and I wouldn't be as far as I am now, so it's fine. It'll be great. And the last two that I have to show you guys are hats. So this is the photographer hat. I'm working this up as a sample, and it is on the Elven base in Tutti Frutti. I love the way this is working up. It's a tonal pink that has speckles of teal and blue, green, pink, purple, yellow, just all kinds of colors all over it. And I'm holding it double for worsted weight because that's what the pattern calls for. It's the photographer hat, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I'm really happy with it. I thought I'd get bored with the 2x2 ribbing, but it's only about 88 stitches, and you're working in a worsted, so it's knitting up fairly fast. I think I'm almost to 4 inches now, and I need to get to 6.5. Yeah. All right, and the last one is Harlow by Andrea Mowry, and I'm very happy with how this hat's turning out. I have purple on one side and gray on the other. There we go. And the purple is Road to China Light, I think. It's the, whichever Road to China is the DK version. And it's so soft and beautiful. And my other yarn is from, it's more of a light, it's more of a fingering weight, possibly a light fingering, but it's so fluffy from the Angora. It's 80% Jacob wool, 20% Angora, and I cannot remember the name of the farm. I know they're in North Carolina. It's okay. I lost the tags, unfortunately, but it's just really beautiful, and it's adding this nice halo. I know the contrast isn't high between the two colors, but that's what I really wanted. I wanted it to kind of blend together, which it's doing. So I haven't gotten very far on it, but this is also waiting for the festival to end so that I can start knitting it again. It's Mr. Finn's first Halloween, so we don't have any parties planned or anything like that, but we figured we should do something, and it seems only fitting that we are going to the comic book shop to hang out and have some fun. We've got a great family costume planned, so I will and Finn is clearly very excited, so yeah, we're on our way there now. Check out my new toy! Ah, I'm so excited. Okay, so Tim and I went, well, at the last Fiber Guild meeting, they send out a newsletter ahead of time with any announcements, things for sale, things that are just up for grabs if anybody wants them, events coming up. And one of the things up for grabs from actually one of my friends at the guild was this Passat Electronic 6000 knitting machine. Whoop. Whoop, there we go. Okay. It is so cool. So it's got I think 180 stitches, or 180 needles on this side and 180 on the other side. So you can actually do knits and purls, and you can offset the needles, which I guess is how you do the knits and the purls. It's pre-programmed. It's pre-programmed with tons of color work, because it can do up to 4 colors. It uses slip stitches in order to change the colors, and it's got these little posts that you thread the yarn through. So as the carriage moves back to this side, it'll change out the posts with the next color in line, and it's all programmed into the machine. But it's got color work, it's got lots of color work, lots of pattern stitches. It can even do lace. Their big advertisement on it is it can do true lace. But it's so cool. I'm so excited. I'm missing the piece that I need. There we go. I need a set of these, but in orange, in order to do the knits and purls, I think. So we'll see. I can get them online. They're a little expensive. So I want to start using the machine first to make sure that I'm actually using it before I invest think it's like $110 to get a replacement pair, but we'll see. It's just, I mean, $110 to make this whole thing work when I didn't have to pay for it in the first place is pretty great. And I love our knitting guild, because this machine has been floating around for a while because everybody realizes how cool it is, but it's something that's going to take a lot of time to learn, and it's fussy. The way that you input designs that aren't pre-programmed is there's a special paper that you buy that it's basically graph paper, but I'm guessing that I can't just use graph paper to make this work, but you can draw out your own design and scan it. Actually, I'm not sure if this is in screen anymore. You scan it through this guy. So it goes in here, comes out here, and you can actually draw your own little color work piece and tell it if you want to repeat it across just one row, if you want it to go vertically, or if you want it to fill in completely and just have an entire grid of whatever that color work is that you drew up. Or I think it can do knits and pearls for that too. But it's so cool. The one bad thing is because the system uses that paper, it doesn't communicate with a computer like the Brother electronic knitting machines do. So the Brother ones, I think, use a floppy drive, and so you can hook it up to the computer and make it think that it's talking to a floppy disk. This one is going to be a little more complicated, and that's why Tim really wanted it. There was no question of can we make space for it. As soon as I told Tim there was an electronic knitting machine, he was all over it, because he really wants to crack it apart and program it. He's really wanted an electronic knitting machine, and he wants one of the electronic looms. So we'll see. He said he's not gonna take it apart until he figures out how he's going to program it, because I want to try using it as is before that happens. I don't want us to do any kind of irreparable harm to it until we have a better feel of what's going on. But yeah, it's so cool. It can, like I said, it can do 4 colors, and it uses slip stitches to make those colors happen. It automatically changes your needle placement to work for knits and pearls and for the different colors. It's missing a few parts, like these little bunny ears are missing. The oh jeez probably gonna cut out all of that horrible noise that I just made, but it can do different colors. It can do knits and pearls. Once I get the parts replaced, I should be able to go ahead and knit with this. And I've got 2 reusable grocery totes full of patterns. A lot of the patterns are generic, and a lot of them are also from the 80s and look like they're from the 80s. And I think I've even got one for an evening gown that you can knit on this machine, which is so tempting. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm hoping that what I can do is knit a sweater on it. I'll have to do some swatches first, but I'm really tempted to use one of these like all over patterns to knit the sweater. And I feel like Cosby sweaters now have been tainted by Bill Cosby, but we'll go with Wesley Crusher. His weren't quite as exaggerated as the Cosby sweaters, but I'm thinking I might make myself something ridiculous. The first one will probably have to be just knits and pearls, but I mean, there's so many different patterns in here. And these are all the patterns. I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm so excited. These are all the patterns that are actually plugged into the machine already. So all I have to do is get everything cast on and then key in the number that I want. And luckily, I have a VHS, so the tapes that came with this machine I can actually watch. Although I think it's all on YouTube. So if you're curious about the machine, you can definitely check it out. There are how-to videos online, but it's the Passat E6000. But yes, I am absolutely thrilled, and hopefully I'll be able to figure this out soon. Mr. Man is awake, so I'll be right back. So Mr. Man's awake, and guess we're gonna wrap this up. This is really the only exciting thing that I've got to tell you guys about. We went to Fiber in the Borough this past weekend, and it was lots of fun. Kind of stressful because it was the first time Mr. Man had been to any kind of a festival or anything with that many people, and so we weren't sure how he was going to react. And in fact, I think the entire day went by and I realized I hadn't taken a single photo. Whoa, a single one. No videos, no nothing. Hadn't posted on Instagram, but we had such a good time, and he was so great for the whole thing. He barely cried at all, and barely whined at all. Hi. We're awake. We're awake. So yeah, little man has started sleeping through the night since we stopped feeding him every time he woke up, which I didn't think would be how that would work, but it took a few sad nights of him crying, but we just skipped the first wake up at first, and now he sleeps until about 4 before he has to eat, and then he wakes up at about 6 or 8. Before he was waking up every 2 hours. Now he sleeps for about 4 hours, gets a diaper change, and then sleeps the rest of the night. Yeah, I'm talking about you, bud. I'm talking about you. His nap times are now my work time, so I'm trying to slip in recording for the podcast, doing shop updates, assembling the weaving notebooks, and trying to post to Instagram as well while I'm at it. Mr. Man is not getting to watch any TV, which includes computers and phone screens. Blah, 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 blah. So it's hard to try to be on my phone when I'm with him because all he wants to do is look at it, and plus I'd rather be spending time with him anyways. So, what is that? It's a chalkboard. It's a chalkboard. So yeah, we're gonna go play. I just made some cookies that I'm going to eat in front of the little man because eating is one of the funniest things you can do right now. He loves watching you. He just loves watching things go into people's faces. So we're gonna go do that. I hope you guys have a great time knitting, crocheting, spinning, whatever it is you guys want to be doing right now. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.